Okay, so let me talk to you about what they're saying to me today. So they just said that I never had a real man, and that's going to turn me against the gay community. Again, we went over this with these people already. They said that that's going to get me in trouble with someone. Meaning, the way they think is that you have to pretend to be something you're not in order to impress people. And they can then go behind you and say things about you that will make the people not want you or like you anymore. And I said this in a previous video. If you have to do all of that, then you have an agenda. And that's what I've been trying to establish. I'm going to find a video where I talked about how they have an agenda. When I said it, they were upset by it. Today, what they seem like is they keep saying that now their lives are going to get better. My life is going to be horrible. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than this. So, this is at the bottom. So they said, I used to say, um, broken down people attract broken down things. I don't think I'm broken down yet. I probably will be, but so be it. But what I'm saying about them is that they always have an agenda. You're dealing with people who aren't like a regular group of people that we just kind of we're ourselves, we're doing our own thing. We're not really pre-thinking things. I talked in a video that's going to upload about how they use Gematia to figure out numbers, and they said that's like numerology. I don't know. I really don't get into that. So they lied on me and said that I'm into astrology. No, I've said this repeatedly throughout my life, a lot, a lot, a lot. That what astrology did was take like case studies of people who were born under a certain sign. There is some truth to that. Prediction is not. First of all, prediction to me is what God does. God can do that. Man can't. When they're coming up with all of these computer predictions and it's wrong, and it's like, oh, wait, we got it wrong. That's what I'm saying. It's not possible. So I don't play God, thankfully. So they'll say they'll find one instance where I played God. They won't. Everything that they've always tried to find one instance of turned out to be wrong, and they're upset by that. I think the reason they're upset by that and is because that was what they were supposed to prove that they're able to do. Meaning they came up with something to play God and it failed because who is in charge? God. Okay, if God wanted them to succeed at any of this, it would have. Okay, and I don't want to even argue that anymore because we would not have thousands of videos now that they keep going over trying to use a computer, not their brains, to help them find instances of things that don't exist. But what I want to talk about that in terms of their personality assessment is that I don't believe they believe in God. And I said this in a previous video, and I also alluded to it in 1992 in my diary page. I don't understand people who don't believe in God. You got to believe in something higher than you. And numerology to me is not higher than man. If man created numbers and then can attach values to the numbers, then you're substituting yourself for God. God predicts things. God sees the future. We don't. I don't care what kind of computer you build. Computers can't see the future. So that's part of their personality assessment. The other thing that they were talking about is when they talked about no man really loved me, no man really wanted me. They said they're trying to attack the men that I've been with, which means I've been with men. Okay, we're gonna just drop that whole issue. And they said that I like men and that some of them don't like men. I think if a person likes men, they wouldn't attack men and attack them in that way, meaning the thing that men seem to value a lot. I think as women, and they're upset because they said my channel, I seem to gear towards women of all races, religions, or whatever. Well, throughout my life, that's been my friendships, and they don't want to accept that. You know, they've even said repeatedly, I had a very close friendship with a Jewish woman. Yes. And it was part of what we would talk about. So these conversations that they don't want me to have in the open, we've already had in the open. They weren't there. But going back to that, as women, we know that men seem to, them being men seems to be a big part of their psychological makeup. I think when they attack a man on that level, it's partially what they're about, and I think I can move on from there. So the other thing they're talking about is they said they expected me to rear up like a horse or something, like horses rear up like the I don't know. They have a whole new way of speaking that when I start talking about what they're talking about, I would have to look everything up. They said that in 19 no not 19 in 2016 when I said I didn't know the word fire. To me, fire means fire or it means hot. But when the kids started using it and they were surprised I didn't know what that meant. I At the time I was in my 40s. I wasn't around kids. And so when they're talking now and they're like, "Oh, she wasn't around kids." Yeah. So they're trying to find times when I've been untruthful in my life. I hope now I can be as untruthful when it's around these people as possible because they have an agenda, which is partially what I'm saying, that there's something in them that wanted the rest of the world to be honest while they're dishonest. And going back to the scams, that really is it. When you're talking about people who have scripts based on what an honest person will say, how they can then lie to get around that, we're dealing with a group of people who are dishonest people. So you can't be honest to a dishonest person because they'll use it against you. If you're honest, they'll twist it. The stories that I've been telling you that they've said have been twisted so much over the years, which is partially why I'm saying that it had to be out in public. So it gives the world a chance to see what I'm hearing. And this is part of their script. So when they're saying they expected me to rear up and I didn't rear up, um, that's part of their prediction that went wrong. So this video is going to be talking about predictions, how I don't believe in astrology, I don't believe in numerology, I don't believe in Dematia. I don't believe in any of those types of things. Thank you for watching.